You just referred to a mentally ill viewer who accused me of a sex crime 20 years ago. And of course, it was not true. I never met the person. But
Tara, can you imagine being Tucker Carlson or be doing an interview and someone's like, someone said the same thing about you, and you're like, oh wait,
hold up, you're getting airtime on my show, and you're gonna call me out.
3, 2, 1.
Here we go.
so this is obviously a serious allegation. Tell us what the truth is from your perspective.
It is a horrible allegation, and it is a lie. The New York Times is running a story that I have traveled with a 17-year-old woman, and that is verifiably false. People can look at my travel records and see that that is not the case. What is happening is
That's actually pretty... Stop right there. Can I just say one thing? That's really difficult to do, to check someone's travel records. They're not public records.
it feels like he is taking from his king, Donald Trump, in the scandal world. Like, if you get the scandal, you immediately flood the zone. He's been on TV, he's been tweeting about it.
Matt would not go into a hole. Like, I think
Right.
for him, he's like, I'll come back out there and I will, punch back. Like, that's a Donald.
And like immediately, without, it seems, I just feel like most lawyers would be like, yo, don't tell them that your dad was wearing a wire. Like, stuff like that he kind of like immediately started tweeting about.
Yeah. I mean, he's a lawyer, actually. He does have a law degree. Not that he's representing himself,
Right.
but I think he sees it as playing out in the court of public
Okay.
opinion, especially since he is an elected official. So I'm not surprised to see him out there, like, vociferously fighting this back. But yes, that is a Donald Trump thing to do. There's a lot of questions and not a lot of answers. And as you said, like, all of these questions sort of create doubt around everything, which is, again, like, Trump tactic.
It's about infrastructure. The American Jobs Plan will modernize 20,000 miles of highways, roads, and main streets that are in difficult shape right now. It'll fix the nation's 10 most economically significant bridges in America that require replacement. Remember that bridge that went down? We got 10 most economically significant bridges with more commerce going across it that need to be replaced. We'll also repair 10,000 bridges, desperately needed upgrades.
I mean, this is all the same stuff that Trump has said before, and that the Republicans clearly want to do. It goes to their alleged base of, white working class workers, minorities as well. He is going after their base with this bill in some ways. Infrastructure, yeah, our airports are horrible. I mean, compared to the rest of the world, most of our airports are terrible. Our bridges, our roads, like, that's something that everyone benefits from. It's not like just the rich benefit from it or the poor. It's
Right.
It's going to be the pet projects, you know what I mean? That's where they're going to get caught. It's going to be the special interests that are trying to kill things or take from things. It's going to be the resistance from the Republicans and also from the progressives.
Marketing it as in both infrastructure and jobs, and also kind of like the second thing that's coming soon, kind of like social infrastructure, which is vernacular in the world that's out there, but it's not how we've thought about infrastructure, right? We haven't thought about infrastructure having anything to do with the care force, right?
Which will actually end up being turned into, can I just preview, socialism is how it's going to be spun. Social infrastructure, socialism. That's exactly how that's going to play.
I think America's awakening to the fact that President Biden is not a moderate. His agenda is radical. And I fear what we're going to discover.
You can pause it there, Mary. You can pause it right there. He's right. President Biden has been operating as a progressive. And the reason is, one, we spent 2 years of the campaign him being the most moderate of the Democratic Party. After all of those debates and talking with Bernie and having, figuring out that Democratic Party platform, the progressives got a lot of wins. And the reason the collective, not Tara and I, talk about him as a moderate is because his decades of operating as a moderate, but also because he's like an old white guy and he doesn't look like a progressive, right? We have this stereotype in our head of what a progressive looks like and sounds like. And he talks more calmly than Bernie Sanders, who's also an old white man, who's obviously a progressive. But he doesn't, they have a very different way of approaching things, right? Bernie Sanders is very like in your face, and Joe Biden's not, and he's a little, there's more dulcet tones. And
you know what, I keep asking Eugene to write this piece, maybe a Saturday playbook. Trump was right.
oh my God, you are not getting me in trouble.
Expect that story and all of the outrage that will follow when we use the words Trump was right.
You trying to get me
Biden
canceled.
is a Trojan horse for the progressives.